Do you want to play with Breaking Bad memorabilia, drive in an RV, and tour over 20 sites where they filmed Breaking Bad? Well, you've come to the right place. This is your A to Z guide on the Breaking Bad RV Tour company's Breaking Bad tour. So first and foremost, they offer a RV option, which I highly recommend, over the shuttle option. They're both the same price. However, the RV option sells out a lot quicker. I think if you can book in advance, preferably at least 2 weeks in advance, you have a good chance of getting in the RV. Now, I also got the best seat in the RV. If you could come early and then claim your stake, you can sit where I did, which is right next to the driver up front. There's about 7 or 8 others who sat in the back, and if you don't really have any plan, then they're just going to assign you seats. So I had the best seat in the whole place. The shuttle is really just a van, so you don't really get as much of a full experience like you would on the TV show. Now, they also do a lot of visits to Better Call Saul sites. So if you like that show as well, you get a great taste about all the details about how they filmed it, what it was like, and you get to see about 20 to 30 locations.
To prevent Walt from flushing it down the toilet. Now, on a side note, no bathtubs were injured during the filming. That was all done at the studio. Now, also, if you look over here to the left, you're going to see the garage that was put in later in season 5, and that is where the RV was parked during production. And so it's also where Skyler approaches Jesse and tells.
This is where Jesse was confronted by Skyler. And then, of course, you get Better Call Saul sites as well, since that show is more new and they have a lot of sites. I was surprised to see how close by and small all of these locations were in person. There's something they do with the camera angles to make it look different. And guess what that one is? That is the one where Tuco gets blown up by the fake meth that Walt throws on the floor. Don't worry, I'm not giving it all away. He gives a lot of details, and there's a lot of shots I didn't show, but some of the most amazing ones I had to take a quick video of, including what this is, which is when our friend Combo gets shot by a kid. Iconic and sad scene, but this is literally the parking lot that it happened in, and it was filmed. A lot of these locations are actually pretty safe in person. I think there was like a farmers festival going on during that time. And of course, maybe the most iconic location is Los Pollos Hermanos, which is actually filmed in a Mexican chain that sells burritos called Twisters. And as you can tell, this location looks a lot smaller in person than in the show due to camera angles, and it's just really cool.
Jill right here, and that's when he was keeping an eye on the guy with the backpack in the middle table. There it is.
As you can see, they point out the tables where a lot of those scenes were shot. You could get up close and eat there. It was rather unassuming when we were there, but they were so iconic that my mind was blown. Now, also, you just get a tour the New Mexico area, which is really cool. They have these amazing mountain ranges that are viewable within most parts of the city. And I got to tell you, you get to see like 20 to 30 sites of places where they filmed a shot or a scene in one of those 2 shows, which is crazy because I've been on other TV show tours like the Walking Dead tour in Georgia, and they won't show you as many sites. I got to ring the bell multiple times. In fact, the tour guide told me, ring the bell each time I say rolling in action. And, after he does a little blurb after each site, he'll say rolling in action, and I got to ring the bell, which was really cool. That's the motel where Wendy, the prostitute, was staked out in her scenes. So it's just really cool to see all these things in person. A lot of those things are a lot nicer to be seen in person than just through a video. It's just something magical about being there in person.
That is where Wendy did some of her best work. Jesse and Jane's. Now, Jane Margulis lived on the left, Jesse on the right. and they did all the exterior filming here. The inside shots were done at the studio. So they didn't really use the inside of the building. And so these are efficiency apartments.
You also get free iced water bottles. It's just like regular bottled water, but still, that's a nice touch in the hot New Mexico climate. And they do occasional trivia questions, maybe every 30 minutes or so, where you could get and win a free postcard or magnet that's Breaking Bad themed. That's really cool as well. I mean, not a huge deal, but I love to play trivia. Now, even if you suck at it, which probably most of our group at least did, they let you Google the answer, so that's still pretty fun. There's the shuttle ahead of us. As you can see, it's just a normal van, so you don't get as much of an experience as you would in this fully decked out, decorated van with Breaking Bad themes if you're in the RV. So definitely book the RV tour version if you can. But look at this RV. I mean, it's fully decked out with Breaking Bad memorabilia. If you can, try and get the tour in this rather than the shuttle. Now, one spot that they show you is the iconic car wash where it all happens. We parked right outside, and it's very spacious, as you can see, but it's a giant car wash, probably the biggest site that we toured. They didn't let us go inside of it because apparently it obstructs the customers, so we can only see the outside, but you also get to see some really cool stuff like this house, which is where Walt and Skyler lived. Now this one is definitely the highest security risk place here. You can see it's fully blockaded with all those construction signs, and the homeowners who have lived here for 50 plus years, they have had to do that because apparently you get all sorts of crazy people who come here, people who have broken into the house, skinny dipped in the pool, done all sorts of really crazy stuff, and so they've had security cameras going at all times, and unfortunately they've had to keep all this security fence stuff up. Now, this is probably one of the most iconic scenes. You see it a lot in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, but it is the laundromat, and it is a fully functional giant laundromat. I was talking to one of the other guests there, and she said this is maybe the only thing that was the size from the show. It is as big as it looks on the show, and you get a little walkthrough tour of it. In fact, it's fully functional. So some of the people who were working at this laundromat were also actual employees.
Feels like this 45 degrees to empty all the laundry inside. And that position, the machine makes...
What that laundromat owner was saying was that they had to act as if there was a secret passageway behind that laundromat machine, because there actually wasn't. All of that was actually filmed in the studio, so they had to pretend like they were walking downstairs when there was no hole or staircase down to a lower level below that machine.
And so they, believe it or not, they still work here. And they didn't have very good Spanish speakers at the time. So what they do is they hired them to come in and actually do their job the next day, which is really cool, right? They paid them $300, right? And $300, right, to actually clean the basement below. So what do you guys think?
I think that's pretty awesome, hiring actual local employees, and they still work at that laundromat to this day. So I think this is an incredible tour. I mean, seeing it on a video online is cool, but seeing it in person is a special experience that I think is well worth the price of about, currently you can book it for $100. It may go up. Now, you also get to see a lot of videos. They have a TV screen going. It's mostly stuff that's scraped from the internet, so like YouTube parodies of Breaking Bad. But they'll show a lot of that while you're on the tour throughout, because while you're commuting through a location, there's just a lot of dead time. So I've seen some of them, but some of them I didn't even know existed, and I got to see some fun new parodies. I mean, like the Jimmy Fallon one everyone's seen, but Oh yeah, and this is a really cool site. This is where Jesse lived. By the way, the tour itself takes about 4 to 5 hours, depending on how slow or fast it is. Some sites, like the laundromat, depending on the day, they are not willing to open it or show it for tourism. So we were lucky in that vein, but there was one that we missed because it wasn't open on weekends, and that was one of the parking lots where Jesse fell into a porta potty. But you can see stuff like that. That's the DEA office, just very briefly, as well as where Combo died, and where I think Badger smuggled some or sold some drugs. So you get to see all those sites and more that are just very magical to see in person. If you want to come out, also try coming out when it's not too hot. Although, yes, these are air conditioned, so you're good to go. I recommend going to the bathroom ahead of time because, just to be frank, the RV bathroom, they don't allow anyone to use. It's not functional. And then there's really, the only time to stop is maybe at Los Pollos Hermanos, aka Twisters. So there's really not much time there. I mean, you're only there for like 10-15 minutes tops. Although you get a free burrito and drink while you're at Twisters. It's a very small burrito, but it's nice that they include that with the tour. So now, rounding out this video, I want to thank you for watching. I definitely think it's quite a good experience. Sure, you could probably reverse engineer some of these sites on your own and drive to them yourself, but I mean, the convenience of just having it all packaged up and explained to you in extensive detail, and you also get some fun, cool facts about each location, about how it's filmed, and you get a lot of other movie facts too, because a lot of other movies and TV shows were actually filmed here because there's a New Mexico film like tax advantage. So you get those here, so I recommend taking the tour.